COP28 is starting tomorrow, and a lot of countries are trying to see how they can meet the global objective of the just transition. And Namibia, over the past year or two, has really been using platforms such as this one to position itself to say that I am ready, I have the resources, but then again, the behind the scenes work and NIPDB's presence here also speaks volume with regard to Namibia meeting the objectives and at the same time also using natural resources, the resources that the world needs for its socio-economic development. So this few days or over the next few days, what will be NIPDB's focus?
Good afternoon, Blanche, and thank you for speaking to me. So NIPDB's main focus over the next few days, week, will be primarily to speak to our core investor target group. So we know that there are a number of developers, a number of financiers, a number of potential partner countries here also at COP. This is really the platform to engage them at. Everyone is motivated to hit those NDCs, but also, of course, really working towards net zero as quickly as possible. That is also the reason, NIPDB, along with our other colleagues in government, we're busy pivoting our economy towards a green economy, and of course, not only for the obvious reasons of combating climate change, but also for job creation, and of course, to grow our economy, to create a better life for all Namibians.
Well, Mr. Van Schalkwyk, when we arrived here, we walked around the different pavilions and just around the expo center, and one thing that really stood out is the financing aspect, where I saw posters and everyone lobbying for green financing, and the challenges that we are facing right now in terms of combating climate change or effectively combating it is the green financing aspect. And I understand that you have, as the office, have lobbied the private banks in Namibia and other private sector players within the financial industry. So in this case, how then will you be reconciling the policymakers here plus the financiers?
So I think policy and finance speaks to two different things, but there's an overlap. And it is within that overlap that we think the opportunity is. So when we look at the projects in Namibia itself, the ones that are currently being developed, but also the ones that are in the so-called pipeline, yes, they all struggle with various aspects of green financing. And what we've noticed in particular in the work we've done is that there is a gap in project financing. So in other words, that first risk capital that needs to be secured for a project to kick off. There's a lot of interest around potential equity stakes and potential larger or further stage loans and lending. So that's those kind of opportunities are in place, but it's really this first stage that we're focusing on. So the government is supporting those projects and those project owners to help financiers, but also DFIs understand the risk profile of the country. When we look at, for example, the Hyphen project, it is a mega-scale project. We've never invested that kind of money in our country. And I think to a certain extent, it is not only providing the comfort, but also providing the technical understanding as to why it is a good thing to do that, why Namibia is a good place to invest. So those conversations will continue throughout this week. And then, of course, as we continue to work with policymakers, Namibia is a leading light in terms of setting not only our own policy, but also continental and international policy. And our colleagues at the Ministry of Environment and Tourism, as well as the Green Hydrogen Office, they're playing a leading role in that area. And of course, through the work the NIPDB does, is we're the conveners. We bring people to the table. And so we're looking forward to also have our stakeholders at the table together with international stakeholders over this week.
So as the convener, bringing people together, so is that what will happen at this very pavilion throughout the next few days as per the program of the NIPDB?
Yes, Blanche. We'll be hosting 31 sessions, in fact, over the next 12 days. Yes, it's a lot. A lot of work, and you can still hear the hammering going on. So we're still really finalizing some last-minute preparations, but that is exactly what will be happening. We'll be bringing people together, different messages, different platforms. We're collaborating with the private sector, as you might imagine, but also with multinational firms and international organizations like the UN, co-hosting with them as well as the World Bank certain sessions specifically aimed at addressing certain issues within this humongous task of decarbonizing not only the world but also our own economy.